Being born and brought up in India, the cold weather in the western countries has always been a shock for me. After 14 winters, I thought it would have been easier, but it did not. Every winter, I'm this completely different person. I suffer from mood swings, be a couch potato, eat uncontrollably, and have no motivation to do anything. I came across this term seasonal affective disorder like a million times, but it took me nearly several winters to actually believe that it's what was happening to me, and also to believe that it is very common in South Asians. Every year I used to waste these 4 winter months. Not only waste it, I developed negative thoughts and also make bad decisions. I was also not a pleasant person to be around during those 4 months. After those years, now understanding more about this SAD, I have developed a system to work around me. Now I'm not only well equipped to handle this winter, but also found ways to be more productive during these times. Today in this video, I'm going to share those tips that personally helped me, and I hope they would help you too. Tip number 1. Understanding SAD and accepting it. Understanding SAD is real, and that's what was happening to me was a major step forward. Until then, when I was depressed during winter, I would attribute it to my life situation and then assume that that's why I am depressed. This way I was feeding the depression every day and was in more stress than ever. Instead, accepting SAD is a tendency and it's bound to happen every winter, and it's not an illness, made it a lot easier for me to handle it. Tip number 2. Plan my day or the weekend well before. How a particular day would go was always determined by how that morning was. When I don't have any willpower to stand up from bed, I cannot come down to face my family who wants me to cook their food, entertain them, and a home which needs my attention to clean it, organize it. All these overwhelms me while I was still in the bed. So 99.99% of the time, I go on lying down there. One thing that helped me to battle that morning time is that if I have some plans that gets me out of the house, like if I had a GP appointment to go to. When I see people outside that have started their day already, kids on their little bikes not minding the cold weather, this picture gives me some fresh feeling that I'm glad I'm also one of them being outside, not still curled up in the bed. Pretty much that day was sorted and saved because I conquered that morning. This applies for a weekend too. How a Saturday morning starts commands how the entire weekend would go. On a Friday or well before weekend, I make plans to go out of the house in the morning. That could be either long walks with a friend, planning for a family outing, buying tickets to see a National Trust house, inviting friends for lunch or dinner that would make me to go out in the morning, visit farmers market in the morning. The best of all, going to a local cafe with Wi-Fi to do my work is an amazing way to get things done. Tip number 3. Not to have a very long to-do list. Now this is the time I'm already having lots of negative thoughts about me, that I'm not good enough, that I haven't achieved enough. The worst thing that I can do now is to cram my to-do list with lots of tasks with unrealistic deadlines. This is a time to be kind to myself and give pats on my back for the things that I've already achieved. Instead of having a to-do list, I will just have a highlight to be done for that day or for a week. I might have carried on several projects at a time during summer months, but I can't accept to carry on the same way during winter. I believe that it's okay for my busy mind to go into hibernation. I set myself some achievable realistic goals that makes me feel good when they are get done. With that I realized I have started and also completed some good projects during winter months. I believe that's the art of slow living. On these days, I also make sure I have something to look forward to in the evening, like plan to catch up on a movie, favorite shows on Netflix. Tip 3A, have feel good goals. I also experienced having small feel good goals help to lift the mood. For example, instead of having a goal like walking 10 kilometers a day or cycling 500 kilometers a month, having winter friendly goals like finishing off reading a book, picking up a crafts project, learning to cook some exotic dish, etc., made me feel good about staying indoors. Tip number 4, taking small efforts to look good. I tend to wear same set of clothes alternatively or repeatedly because I have no motivation to dress up. I hardly look myself in the mirror or do self-grooming that I would normally do during the warmer seasons. But making it a point to keep up with the eyebrow threading appointments and wear something nice instantly lifts my mood. For example, I love earrings. Instead of wearing the same old gold earrings, I try to change different earrings every few days. Tip number 5, exercises and supplements. I started taking vitamin D supplements way before winter, somewhere around mid-autumn like October. I also found out that our body absorbs vitamin D if it's taken along with vitamin K. So I found supplements that has both of them in it. And when coming to exercises, those are the last thing that I want to do, but they are the sure mood lifter. I found that when I do exercises, it's instantly clearing my mind of the fog and it instantly lifts my mood. If it is not the regular traditional exercises, dancing to a beat would do too. This is why before the winter comes, I sign up for group workout classes in local gym or community centers and aim to attend that. A proper diet that doesn't bloat you too much is also a good idea. Tip number 6, know your thermostat. Waking up to a cold room puts me off from getting out of the bed and get on with the day. Earlier, we used to have manual radiators, but after upgrading to the new modern ones, customizing the room temperature has become more easier than ever. I took time to set up the thermostat. I chose the time when I want the heater to start in the morning, preferably an hour before my usual wake-up time. So when I wake up, the house is warm. I prefer my room to be cold in the nights, so I set up the thermostat in such a way that it won't turn at all in the nights. Mainly played around with it. Waking up to a warm room is the key. Tip number 6A, have warm clothes by the bed. Usually, I sleep in thin nightie for comfortable sleep, but when I have to get up in the morning, the nightie doesn't withstand the cold. The thought of going around to look for warm clothes in the morning doesn't really help me with the waking up process. So I keep the warm clothes next to my bed or even lay down on the radiator so the warm clothes are welcoming in the morning. Once I have the warm clothes on, my mind is set to go about the day. Tip number 7, reduce the workload around you. I know for sure that my willpower and motivation is very less at this stage. The worst thing that I can do is to create more work for me to tackle. One thing is to reduce clutter, which affects mood instantly in a negative way. Kitchen is the most to get cluttered during weekends. I make sure I use minimum amount of dishes and plates, not bring all the bowls and plates in a whim of interest and having to deal with it when my mood is totally down. One simple trick to achieve that is I make sure to use the dishes from the dishwasher directly. By the end of the day, the dishwasher is empty anyway. Then reload the dirty dishes. It saves me from unloading it in the morning only to use the dishes 2 seconds later. This is just one example. This way I try to reduce the workload wherever possible and try to save my willpower for more important tasks for the day. Hope these tips help you prevent the cold dark weather from stopping you carrying on with your good work. If it did, please consider subscribing to my channel. See you all in the next video. Bye.